Hello students, I would once again welcome you all to Onboard Digital Classes. Today in this video, we shall be discussing about important current events that took place in the month of December 2024. All the previous months, that is from January to November, has already been uploaded. If you have not watched the video, I'll provide the playlist in the I section. Kindly watch that video as well. Let's begin today's session. And first and foremost, today we'll be discussing about the very important bill which was recently passed by the Lok Sabha. So what was that bill? That was Lok Sabha passes Banking Laws Amendment Bill 2024. So all those students who are giving exams, especially if you are preparing for banking exams also, this information is extremely useful to you. All right. Now, as per this amendment, 4 nominees shall be allowed. Previously, only 2 nominees were allowed in the banking sector. Right. From now on, 4 nominees shall be allowed. And also, they have redefined substantial interest. Now, what is substantial interest? It is basically for the directorships, right? For the directors. Now, basically what used to happen was, if the director used to earn more than 5 lakh rupees, that amount was considered to be substantial interest. But now, that amount is changed, and now the threshold is approximately if the directors are earning more than 2 crores, only then that sum of money will be treated as substantial interest. All right. So that is second amendment. Third is the tenure of the directors were also increased from 8 years to 10 years. Now it's increased to 10 years. All right. So this was a very important amendment recently, which was in news in the month of December. Next, what we have is Ratnapani Tiger Reserve. It is now 57th Tiger Reserve of India. All right. So this is something that you must keep in mind. 57th. All right. And it is situated in which state? It is situated in Madhya Pradesh, as you can see here. Right. And in Madhya Pradesh, with addition to Ratnapani, this becomes 8th Tiger Reserve alone in Madhya Pradesh. Okay. So this is another fact that you must keep in mind. All right. And in addition to that, you must also remember previous Tiger Reserve. That was 55th Tiger Reserve. It was in the, which state? It was in the state of Chhattisgarh, as you can see here. And what was the name? Guru Ghasidas Tamor Pingla. So that was the name of the Tiger Reserve. This is also something that you must keep in mind. Examiner, especially in the exams like UPSC, they might give that in one column, they might give Tiger Reserve, and in another column, they'll give the state, and you're supposed to match the following. All right. So you should keep in mind also. What you should keep in mind? The state in which the Tiger Reserve is located. All right. Next, what we have is, you must also remember the tiger population. All right. So you know that Madhya Pradesh has the highest number of tigers, followed by Karnataka, and then UK. UK is not United Kingdom, but Uttarakhand. Right. So this is in sequence that you're supposed to know it. Next, what we have is Kessler's syndrome. Now, if you have never heard about this, you might feel that this is some kind of a disease, right? But this is not associated with any kind of disease, but it is related to space debris. Let's talk about Kessler's syndrome. It is related to space debris, as you can see here. All right. In the month of November, ISS nearly collided. ISS means International Space Station. All right. It nearly collided with one of the debris, right, in the month of November. So after that, this Kessler syndrome was in news. So what happens when there is a collision? It basically leads to self-perpetuating cycle of destruction, as you all know. And what happens is that if the satellite is collided with some kind of a debris, now the entire function will be disturbed, isn't it? Especially our telecommunication devices, satellite images, everything is going to be hampered. And more often than not, these kind of satellites are basically sent to which orbit? They are sent to geosynchronous orbit, right? And there is a threat to these kind of satellites also, with if there are more space debris. All right. So this is something that you must keep in mind about Kessler's syndrome. Next, what we have is Space DEX mission by ISRO. So recently, they have completed docking experiment. You know what is docking experiment? Docking experiment is something that when 2 spacecraft are connected in the space. All right. So that is what is docking experiment. Now we can connect 2 spacecraft while in the orbit. Right, so that is basically what docking experiment is all about. All right, so in addition to that, crew transfers and resupply missions can also be done easily, right? Because we have actually completed docking experiment. So with that, not only two spacecraft will be joined in the orbit, but also we can transfer crew members, and also resupply missions can also be done very easily. All right, and it is very important topic. It is indigenously built. Okay, and the launch vehicle, the vehicle that was used is PSLV. So these are all the important things that you must keep in mind. All right, let's move ahead. Prova 3. Again, the news from ISRO. ISRO successfully launches. This is Prova 3 is not a mission of ISRO itself, but it's a mission of ESA, that is European Space Agencies. All right, mission to space to study sun's corona. So corona is what? It is the outer surface of the atmosphere of the sun. All right, outer atmosphere of sun. That is what corona is. Now, project. What is the name of the project? Prova 3, project for onboard anatomy. Right. So that is the name of the project. This is also something that you must keep in mind about Prova 3. It was launched by whom? It was launched by ISRO, but it's not a project of ISRO, but it's the project of ESA, that is European Space Agency. Okay, moving ahead. Next, what we have is Australia Online Safety. Now, why are we studying about Australia Online Safety Amendment Social Media Bill? Because recently even Bharat is coming up with Social Media Bill. All right. In fact, if you see, this is the new trend going on across the globe right now. Okay, even our neighboring state, Nepal, is planning to bring social media bill. All right. Anyway, that is the reason it's very important, because it's the current vogue, especially not only in India, but across the globe. All right, so that is something that you must keep in mind. Australia passes the Online Safety Amendment Bill. So it was Australia that passed the Online Safety Amendment Social Media minimum age of 2024 at the House of Representatives. Okay, like Bharat has Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, Australia has House of Representative and Senate, right? It is passed in the House of Representative. Like if you equate with Bharat, that is, it is passed in the Lok Sabha of Australia. That is called House of Representative. All right. So what this aims is, this project aims is to protect the children under the age of 16, right, from accessing social media. So now if this bill is passed in the Parliament of Australia, what happens is the children below the age of 16 has to have the authority, or the parents are liable if they want to use any kind of social media. All right. So without the permission of the parent, children cannot use social media. All right. So that is what is this social media bill is all about. Next is Lok Sabha passes again Railway Amendment Bill 2024. Very important bill, because this grants statutory power to the Railway Board. Till now, there was no statutory power which was given to the Railway Board. Now, with this power, they can actually take decision independently. All right. So the amendment bill authorizes the central government to decide the composition of the Railway Board. So now they can even decide the composition, how many members will be there in the board. So all these things, the autonomy is given. All right. The bill purposed to improve the operational efficiencies and decentralized powers to greater autonomy to railway zones. Basically, to give the greater autonomy to the railway zones. Okay, this is a very important amendment which was passed in the Lok Sabha. Next, what we have is 25th Hornbill Festival, which was celebrated in Nagaland. Now, this was in controversy. Why? Because Nagaland is a very conservative state, right? And they don't really permit liquor. Liquor means alcohol, right? Now, this time what happened was, during this Hornbill Festival, Tudse, this is the name of the traditional beer, okay, TUTHSC, Tudse. It was permitted by the government. And there were many protests as well, right? Anyway, let's discuss about this. Nagaland has a liquor ban against the culture, values and identity, right? And this year the government allowed Tudse, that's a traditional beer. As a result, Hornbill Festival witnessed controversy. Very important thing that you must remember is that Hornbill Festival is a festival of Nagaland. So this fact is something that you must keep in mind. All right. Moving ahead, Nilgiri and Surat delivered to Indian Navy. Now, what is Nilgiri and Surat? They are basically the warships. All right. Two, and also very important thing is that they are indigenously built. All right, warships, Nilgiri and Surat delivered to the Indian Navy recently. Now, one is the name Surat. It is what? It is a stealth guided destroyer. It is a destroyer. Things you must keep in mind that Surat is what? It's a destroyer, and that is also stealth guided. That means the warship cannot be discovered easily by the, especially it doesn't come into the radar if it is stealth guided. All right. And it is India's first AI enabled warship. This is also something that you must keep in mind. Okay, these points are something that you must keep in mind. Okay, and next is Nilgiri. Nilgiri is a frigate. Frigate is nothing but it's a small ship, okay, which is basically to protect the larger one. And it's very faster than the larger one. All right, so Nilgiri is a frigate. It was built by Mazagaon Docks Shipyard Limited. Okay, who built? Sometimes, especially these type of questions might come in one-day examinations, right? So this is also something that you must keep in mind. Next is, let's discuss some military exercises as well. Okay, first and foremost, very important military exercise is Sinbax this year. Why? Because this is the first edition this time. Okay, it's a joint tabletop exercise between Bharat and Cambodia. This is something that you must keep in mind. This is very important. Okay. Second is Surya Kiran. Surya Kiran is also a military exercise between Nepal and Bharat. Okay. Military exercise. Next is Slynex. It is not a military exercise, but it's a naval exercise between Bharat and Sri Lanka. Okay. So these three important, but out of these three, especially Sinbax is important because this is the first edition joint tabletop exercise. Basically, joint tabletop means a military exercise. All right. Moving ahead, Mule Hunter AI. Basically, it's a very important initiative taken by the Reserve Bank of India. All right. In order to what? In order to reduce digital fraud. Digital fraud. Developed by RBI. Okay. Developed by RBI to reduce digital fraud. And Mule account is a bank account used by criminals to launder illicit funds. Okay. Often set up by unsuspecting individuals. Basically, those Mule accounts are not suspected. Okay. Lured by promises of easy money or coed into participation. Especially this happened during COVID times, if you can remember, right? Those people who had black money used to come and say to people that if you allow my money in your bank account, I'm going to give you this amount of money. So this kind of bribes that they used to do. Those accounts which is not suspected by the officials. So those type of accounts are called mule accounts. And those mule accounts is in very large number, right? So it's very difficult for a human to intercept each and every transactions. That is the reason why RBI is coming up with new alternative, that is the AI technology. All right. So that is what it is about, the new Mule Hunter AI. Next, what we have is first ever Ganga River dolphin tagging was done in the state of Assam. All right. Bharat conducts first ever Ganga River dolphin tagging in Assam. Okay, and what is the IUCN status of dolphin? It is endangered, as you can see here, endangered. Okay, and it is under Schedule 1 under Indian Wildlife Protection Act 1972. Okay, and Appendix 1 in CITES. Now, Appendix 1 in CITES, what does this mean? This means that this kind of species cannot be traded, isn't it? Moving ahead, next what we have is 9th NHRC chairperson appointment. Very, very important slide. Okay. Former Supreme Court judge, what is his name? V. Rama Subramanian. Okay. Appointed as the 9th NHRC chairperson. V. Rama Subramanian. This A is not here. Okay. Appointed by the president. And who appoints NHRC's chairperson? It is always by the POI, that is President of India, on the recommendation of the selection committee. President of India cannot select by themselves, right? They have to be recommended. And who recommends the President of India? They are being recommended by the selection committee. And this selection committee is headed by the Prime Minister of Bharat. All right. And this selection committee is a 6-member body. Prime Minister of Bharat. Okay, next very important thing that you must remember is NHRC is a statutory body. It's not a constitutional body. All right, it's a statutory body. And tenure also, okay, you must keep in mind, tenure is 3 years in office or 70 years in age, whichever is earlier. Either you have to be 3 years in office or your age should be less than 70 years. All right, so these are the two criteria, whichever is earlier. Okay, so That is what it is about, 9th NHRC. Next, what we have is Padma Shri Kanta Krishan passes away. She is also basically known as the pioneer of the blood bank, right? Society. Okay, anyway, Kanta Swarup Krishan was an Indian social worker and one of the founders of the Blood Bank Society. Okay, very, very important personality. And the voluntary blood donation that we give, it's because of her. Okay, started voluntary blood donation movement in India, and she was awarded Padma Shri in which year? In the year 1972. Important personalities in news. Okay. Next, let's move ahead with awards. Very, very important 2 awards this time. Sword of the Honor by British Safety, it was given to Ram Mandir. Okay, Ram Mandir project. So this is basically the honor by the British Safety. And second award is UNEP's, that is United Nations Environment Program. United Nations Environment Program. Championship of the Earth. Champions of the Earth. It was given to whom? It was given to Madhav Gadgil. Madhav Gadgil. And this is the highest award in the field of environment. Okay. And about Madhav Gadgil, this is the Wikipedia page. You can have a look about him. Alright. And in order to get the PDF, you can follow on Onboard Digital Class Telegram group. As you can see here, this is the Telegram group. The photo is like this. The group name is Onboard Coaching Classes. Alright. And this is the logo. Okay. So in order to get what? The PDF of the slide. So those of you who don't know, if you are an aspirant of SPSC and WBCS, we are giving an online alternative. That is that we are taking online classes at only rupees 2000. Okay. And if you want to know how the classes are, we are providing 3-day free classes. And also if you want to join that classes, you have to join the Telegram group as well. Okay. Join the Telegram group and we will know when we will be doing the classes. So with this, we have come to the end of the entire current events that took place in the year 2024. From now on, we'll be doing, every month we'll be doing one current affairs after each month. That is, once the month of January is completed, we will be doing current events, important current events from the month of January. Alright, so that is something that we'll be continuously doing. So I would request all the students to kindly, subscribe to the channel and also share it among your friends who are preparing for UPSC, WBCS, SPSC and all the competitive examinations. Alright, see you in the next class. Thank you very much.